Michael Ian Ormo, professionally known as Iann Dior, who was a rapper and songwriter, who originally blew up in the SoundCloud era. His rise to the top was extremely fast, but also extremely impactful, but his downfall was more slow and less covered. Today I'm going to be talking about Iann Dior's rise to fame and his slow, but less covered downfall. Hopefully you'll like this video, and yeah, sorry about the inactivity, been at school, but yeah, let's get into it.
Does it offend you to think that people thought you were an industry plant so much so that you created a body of work around it?
It did. It really made me feel like people were stripping me away from all the hard work that I did. Because I worked my ass off to just get to LA. I was not in a good situation. So going out there, signing my deal and all that stuff, I was a super proud moment for me.
Now, for the come up, I'm not going to touch on this for too long, but Iann Dior wasn't always Iann Dior. He was actually under the alias Ormo before. Now, judging from his music from back then, if you take a listen to it, it's a lot more different or a lot more thought out compared to what we see with Iann Dior nowadays or from his original come up. So, he wasn't always who he said he was. The first time we properly see Iann Dior pop off is when he dropped his mixtape, Nothing's Ever Good Enough. And this mixtape was actually really, really good. Now that I think about it, it had really no misses on here. It was a great start to a career, but a lot of eyebrows are raised. From someone who's unknown and just dropped this insane mixtape that it's really a lot of quality in it. It's a bit random, you know what I'm saying? People start to get to digging. How does an artist from such little stature be able to produce such a good mixtape on the first release? That makes no sense. So a lot of people went to digging and they found out that Taz Taylor had something to do with it, and he was directing the whole scene of Iann Dior. A lot more speculation came out on the fact that Iann Dior might be an industry plant, and some of these facts and just opinions from other people and the research I had dug up has brought up a lot of good points, I feel like. Taz Taylor riding the boat behind the scenes, controlling Iann Dior's every move musically, and just him being backed up by 10K Projects, which Taz Taylor has a share half in with Internet Money, which is crazy to me because Iann Dior is just some random artist who just started blowing up out of nowhere with the Juice WRLD melodic rap style, and it's kind of crazy to see someone blow up out of nowhere like that have such a good mixtape. And when you see all these industry plant allegations, it does make you think for a second, holy shit, I think these guys might be onto something here, because it's damn, out of nowhere, he just blew up with such a good mixtape. And then, not only that, the industry plant allegations got so fucking massive that Iann Dior and Taz Taylor decided to respond to it by having his whole debut project being called Industry Plant. What the fuck? The album eventually ended up dropping, and let's be honest, it was a decent album. Mixed perceptions, of course. People really did like it, and then some other people didn't like the fact that it was pointing towards the industry plant allegations. And, well, you can't blame Iann Dior for it, because I don't think he was a part of the creative process for this album at all. Taz Taylor 100% is controlling not only his career, but definitely the process for this album, basically mocking the fact that he's been called an industry plant. Well, that's how I perceive it, at least. Because why are you doubling down on, the term? It's not you got Ian on one hand saying he isn't one, and you got Taz Taylor promoting the album saying, well, now that, everyone thinks this bullshit is behind Ian's name, which isn't, we're going to name the album that, what the fuck? People like Progress pointed it out clearly.
Iann's album title is the best of the year. If people want to focus on other stuff instead of the music so bad, we'll call ourselves it so you can't say it anymore, and you're forced to just take the music for what it is, end quote. Yeah, see, that's not really how this works, Taz, especially not in this situation. With you calling Iann an industry plant, that's basically you admitting that he's being taken advantage of and used to partially ruin what music is supposed to be. Also, when you Google Iann Dior industry plant, going forward, you won't get other clickbait videos of people who have no clue what they're talking about. You'll get the album. Genius stuff. End quote. Oh, Taz, is that so? Okay. Okay, let's go on Google right now. Google Iann Dior industry plant. Let's just see what pops up. Just for fun, let's just see what pops up. Oh. My video is the first search result link. I thought that mine wasn't gonna be there anymore. His album's out. What happened?
Now, when I give out my opinion on this, I think Progress is right. Why the fuck would Taz be out here spewing bullshit like that when realistically, if you search it up still, it still comes up with the same fucking videos? It's crazy because, I mean, yeah, in Taz's mind, this is a genius idea, but this is poor management skills. Don't be shedding light to something that you don't want your artist to be associated with. The EP I'm Gone ended up dropping, and unfortunately it sold only 14k, which isn't that bad if you think about it for an EP, but at the same time, Iann Dior in 2020 was actually at his peak too, and it's kind of crazy because this year was also the same year that Mood had dropped, and this was Iann Dior's biggest contribution to hip-hop, or just in the music industry to this day still, which he was only a feature on with 20k, which he was only a feature on because it's 24k Gone song, but I'm not going to touch on that too much because we already know how that went and how big that song is. But at the same time, you would have thought leading into 2021 with the hype of Mood back in his name, his next project would have done good, but surprisingly it didn't. On to Better Things only sold 17k, and he was a mainstream artist at this point. Like, he had so much hits. He had Mood backing him up. Like, what was there to go wrong? What happened here? This is what I don't understand. And looking back at it now, the album wasn't really too great either. I don't remember it really at all. Like, and fans quickly just moved on from it. And then the industry plant allegations popped up again, and you could tell how badly it affected Iann Dior. Like, he was starting to get really upset and vocal about it, and I feel bad for him, to be honest.
Does it offend you to think that, like, people thought you were an industry plant so much so that you created a body of work around it?
It did. It like really made me feel like people were like stripping me away from all the hard work that I did, because I worked my ass off to just get to LA.
Yeah.
Like, in general. So like,
Or just to survive to get to the point where you can get
like
to LA.
at that point in my life, I was living off Jack in the Box tacos. You know, like I was not in a good situation. So like going out there signing my deal and all that stuff, like it was a super proud moment for me. And then quickly after that, I guess since it happened so fast, people were like, oh, you're an industry plant. And I didn't know what that meant.
Now, if I'm being honest, I don't think I really believe that statement. I mean, if Taz Taylor came into the picture, Iann Dior should have known that he was going to be blown up like an industry plant. All these allegations would have popped up. He would have known beforehand what that term meant. So I don't think I believe him from there, but you can tell like he's very distressed and upset at the fact that everyone thinks that he's that when he clearly perceives that he's not. And let's be honest, his music back in the day was really, really good. I mean, nowadays it's a bit of a different story. Even a lot of fans just ain't really there anymore, and you can just tell from the current state he's in. Now we're in the current day where Iann Dior isn't really as pushed. Now we're in the current day where Iann Dior isn't really as pushed into the mainstream as much as it used to be. 10k projects in that money do have a history of like backing artists and all of a sudden not even bothering with them anymore. And I think Iann Dior is unfortunately one of those people. And just to see, you know, his earlier work and his career was really, really good. And he had dropped an album called Leave Me Where You Left Me. And I think it's just kind of like, again, it was very forgettable. I only really just remember this project from making this video. And it's sad to see because Iann Dior was really somewhat of a great artist back in the day. I'd say he's better than Prime Kid Leroy, if I'm being completely honest. He's up there. Like, he's up there. And it's kind of crazy to think about realistically. I mean, now he's completely switched to pop, and it's like he's leaving his old career behind. And I don't blame him. Like, I would want to escape from those allegations too. Like, realistically, it is a sad thing that happened with Iann Dior and all the allegations that could put in front of his name. But if we're being completely honest, we gotta remember those good times he had. Like, he was on top of the world at one point. I wouldn't say on top of the world, but he was on top of the rap game. Well, not actually, never mind. He wasn't on top of the rap game. He was in top 5 conversation, and SoundCloud era from 2018 to 2019 onwards. It was a time to be alive, I guess. I think, we gotta see it as it is. Iann Dior was a really great artist and is still a really great artist. I don't personally listen to his music that much anymore, but when I do, I go back to his old stuff and I remember shit. He was really good, and who cares, even if he was an industry plant or not, like, realistically, he was a good rapper. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe. Anyways, have a great rest of your day or night. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.